Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents The Secret Sauce for Leading Transformational Change by Ian Ziskin and the Consortium for Change, C4c. Foreword by Dr. Ronald D. Sugar. Narrated by Jonathan Yen. Foreword. Truth, Talent, and Timing by Dr. Ronald D. Sugar. Over my 5-decade career as an engineer, CFO, CEO, and board director, I have led or participated in more than a few transformational changes. I have learned a lot about what works and does not work, sometimes the hard way. But one learning stands out for sure. Leading transformational change is a team sport. Ian Ziskin, the lead author of this important new book, and I first worked together 25 years ago. He served as my chief HR officer twice, first at TRW Incorporated, then at Northrop Grumman Corporation. Together, we learned that leading transformational change is a product of defining a clear purpose, understanding what to change, knowing what to preserve, and building collective energy among the people who needed to embrace the hard work to make it happen. I have been around businesses and leaders in trouble, growing or performing well, or needing to change, sometimes several of these at once. In every case, 3 things seem to have made the biggest difference in leading successful transformational change: truth, talent, and timing. Truth. No person or organization can change unless and until they first confront reality. When I was chairman and CEO of Northrop Grumman, we had an operating philosophy. In this company, we want good news to travel up the line fast, but bad news to travel even faster. That meant we wanted to know what was working well in the organization, what was not, and to know soon enough to do something about it. Situational awareness of what is happening around us is a crucial ingredient for leading transformational change. You cannot fix things you cannot see or refuse to acknowledge. Try not to allow your hopes or biases to cloud your judgment about what is really going on around you. Face the truth and deal with it. Talent. Surround yourself with the very best people, and listen to and learn from them. They will help you understand what is working and what is not. I really embrace the saying, "In this room, all of us together are smarter than any of us alone." As a business leader and board member, I have always valued having around me a few free electrons, people who think differently, have unique perspectives and capabilities, and are willing to challenge conventional wisdom. Highly talented people with diverse perspectives make a world of difference in leading transformational change. Give your free electrons the platform and voice to help you see the need for and drive change. Timing. Very few leaders have ever said to me, "I wish I had waited longer to make that big change." In retrospect, they realized they should have moved more quickly and decisively. There is always a desire to get more data, to buy more time, and to try not to make a big mistake. But at some point, you need to make the call, and often failing to take action timely will create a worse outcome. Trust your gut. It is your own personal AI algorithm trained by experiences over your lifetime. A final thought. To me, truth, talent, and timing are absolutely necessary ingredients for success. But they, by themselves, are not sufficient. Transformation is not simply an analytic or intellectual exercise. It is a deeply emotional and often wrenching experience that can span a wide arc in space and time. So before you embark, you as the leader need to look inside yourself, fully buy in personally, and then commit to doing. Dr. Ronald D. Sugar is Chairman Emeritus of Northrop Grumman and served as the company's chairman and CEO from 2003 to 2009. He is a member of the board of directors of Amgen, Apple, Chevron, and Uber. Part 1. Context. Introduction. The Spirit of Abundance. The idea for this book began during the COVID-19 pandemic of 2020 to 2022, with my thoughts about the transformational changes taking place in people's personal and work lives and society at large. Over 935,000 people died in the United States, with a total of nearly 6 million lives lost globally as of this writing. This unprecedented 2-year period, with reverberations expected for years to come, was characterized by massive disruptions, including economic instability, racial and social injustice, declines in mental and physical well-being, remote school and work challenges, and political divisions. We have all been living with change and uncertainty, followed by more uncertainty and more change. These monumental changes, exacerbated by lockdown fever, prompted me to think about what it takes to lead, survive, and even thrive in periods of transformational change. They also made me want to write this book in a highly collaborative, community-minded way. I became strongly motivated to work with colleagues, friends, and experts who represent diverse thinking and perspectives, and who could help examine transformational change through a wide range of lenses. To be honest, I also needed human connection, and to do something fun. These were things the pandemic had stolen from us all for more than 24 months. The core group for this collaborative book project began with the Consortium for Change, C4c, a community network of independent coaches, consultants, and transformational change experts I co-founded in 2018 with one of my business partners, Lacey Leone McLaughlin. C4c is based on the Spirit of Abundance, a shorthand way of saying that our purpose is to share business opportunities, competitive intelligence, learning and ideas, and best practices that allow us to collaborate on behalf of clients, rather than to compete among ourselves. We encourage, support, and raise the bar for one another. We believe we are stronger together than alone. As a result, our clients win, and so do we. C4c Guiding Principles. 1. Abundance. We collaborate within so everyone can win. 2. Surge capacity. We deliver more capability for clients together than alone. 3. Business referrals. We share opportunities and fees to provide clients with trusted alternatives. 4. Inclusion. We represent depth and breadth of backgrounds, experiences, perspectives, geographics, industries, and diversity in all dimensions. 5. Reciprocity. We network, share best practices, teach, learn, respect one another's time, and get what we give. 6. Agility. We act and respond quickly and operate with a light, non-bureaucratic, entrepreneurial, and voluntary touch. For information on C4c and our members, visit businessinsightgroup.com/consortium-for-change. Ultimately, 25 C4c members contributed to this book, not including me, those with particular interest and expertise in leading transformational change. These peers have big ideas and passion related to transformational change. Before we get too far into the book, I want to acknowledge the commitment and collaboration of my c4c colleagues who have contributed their expertise to The Secret Sauce for Leading Transformational Change. Kelly Bean, Dr. John Boudreau, Dr. Beth Banks-Cohn, Rebecca Feder, Steve Fitzgerald, Maria Forbes, Barbara Frankel, Jennifer Green, Marissa Harris, Lori Heffelfinger, Jake Jacobs, Karen Jaw Madsen, Sophia Christensen, Dr. Orly Maravankin, Kim McCachran, Jennifer E. McEwen, Ph.D., Lacey Leone McLaughlin, Linda Naiman, Cheryl Perkins, Patrick R. Powser, Ph.D., Susan Robertson, Deb Seidman, Adrian Schock, Tracy Tyler, David Udis, Sci-D, MBA. Our C4C core group was only the beginning of our collaboration strategy. We then included the practical experience and perspectives of an additional several hundred leaders and thinkers who contributed to our book through essays, interviews, a survey, and tools, all focused on the art and science of leading transformational change. The book is truly a product of collective wisdom, shaped by stories of success, failure, elation, and frustration. As we will argue in the book, transformational change takes a village, and it is not always easy, pretty, or successful. We have chosen to include diverse and sometimes conflicting perspectives on transformational change, taking advantage of insights and experiences shared by CEOs and other senior business leaders, CHROs and other senior HR leaders, transformational change experts, authors, coaches, consultants, and many more. Their stories and insights address large-scale transformational change affecting individuals, teams, and organizations, and also suggest implications for society at large. As a reader, you can expect the following from The Secret Sauce for Leading Transformational Change. Broad and diverse perspectives from a wide range of leaders and other experts who have actually executed and delivered on transformational change, not just studied or written about it. Vivid stories and lessons learned from real business and life situations. Practical points of view and insights on what to do and how to do it, what not to do and why, as well as who is responsible for delivering and sustaining transformational change. Usable tools, frameworks, and other resources that supplement our book content. Confidence and inspiration to lead transformational change in your own organization and life. In addition, you will learn how to prioritize and sequence actions to lead transformational change. Avoid common pitfalls, overcome obstacles, and minimize the risk of failure. Determine whether change and transformation are the same or different. Define from what to what before beginning or leading any transformational change journey. The rich content and lessons learned included in our book are further supplemented by a companion website, transformationalchangebook.com, which provides additional insights on leading transformational change, the backgrounds for our contributing authors, and access to links for ordering the book, as well as for scheduling related presentations and other speaking engagements. The spirit of abundance has been an important guidepost in writing this book. We have done our best to create a diverse and inclusive community of book contributors, share insights about leading transformational change, and raise the bar for all those who wish to be better at understanding, leading, and executing successful and lasting transformational change. We hope you find value in this book and ask that you share what you learn with others in The Spirit of Abundance. Ian Ziskin, Sag Harbor, New York, February 22, 2022. Chapter 1. From What to What? 1969 was a pivotal year in my life. As a kid growing up in the suburbs of Long Island, New York, it was the season the Knicks, Jets, and Mets all won championships in their respective professional sports of basketball, football, and baseball. For an 11-year-old who loved sports, everything seemed pretty awesome. Life was good, until it wasn't. That year was also when my father, Ted Ziskin, began bumping into walls and other previously navigable objects. My mother, Marilyn, was the first to notice it. My brother Adam, age 7, and I were too busy being kids and doing our own things to pay attention to what was going on around us. We were oblivious until we weren't. Many, many months passed, with seemingly endless doctor visits and a variety of hypotheses. Then, finally, a diagnosis: multiple sclerosis. My father's condition worsened over a 2-year period. He was in and out of hospitals and nursing homes, able to come home on occasion, but not for long. Loss of motor functions, loss of bodily functions, loss of dignity and independence for him, and a loss of normalcy and stability for our family. Finally, on June 5, 1971, loss of life. My father passed away in the hospital from complications related to his multiple sclerosis, 10 days short of his 47th birthday. It took me a week before I could cry, and even longer to begin processing and understanding what had happened, let alone what was about to happen. After all, I was only 13, and my brother was only 9. Our dad was a big dude, 6 foot 3 inches tall and 260 pounds. His heart was bigger, and everyone knew him to be very helpful, generous, and hard-working. They called him Teddy, and the name fit. He was like a teddy bear. But he also had high standards, big dreams, and a strong sense of right and wrong. If we lied or cut corners, we were not going to get away with it. I have a few vivid memories of getting myself in trouble, but many more very fond memories of my dad buying all my friends ice cream from the ice cream truck, or taking me for a chocolate egg cream, a New York drink made of milk, carbonated water, and flavored syrup. Ironically, egg creams contain neither eggs nor cream, and therefore, like so many things in life, they are not all they appear to be. I will never forget the feel of his scratchy beard when he kissed me goodnight in bed after returning home late from a long day at work. My father loved my mother, his sons, his extended family and friends, and food. He could eat an entire pint of pistachio ice cream in one sitting, right out of the container. Yes, there is an ice cream theme going on here. My favorite is cookies and cream. I am a lot like my father, and share his love of food. Stay tuned for an analysis of how pizza relates to leading transformational change in Chapter 10 of the book. But there is also another theme that began taking shape in my life over 50 years ago, starting with my father's illness and untimely death. Recognizing and facing transformational change. Like the story about my father, transformational change can seem gradual yet sudden, devastating yet eye-opening. It can be seen as a challenge to overcome or an opportunity to seize. Leading transformational change can be a burden or a privilege. It can bring misery and pain, or joy and strength. Transformational change can be the test or the proof. My life changed forever between 1969 and 1971, but I had big decisions to make. Would I allow my father's death to define me? And if so, how? Would I be a victim and feel sorry for myself and use this tragedy as an excuse? Or would I confront reality, get focused, be resilient, grow up fast, and be better for living through the experience? Would I turn a negative into a positive? These are the questions I like to think I asked myself back then when I was 13. More likely, I was probably just trying to figure out how to survive, make it through to the other side, and not give my mother or brother anything else to worry about. Fortunately, my mother and brother were very supportive of me, and we all looked out for one another. We turned out sane and strong, and I choose to believe my father would be very proud of us. This pivotal time taught me many valuable life lessons. One such lesson has proven to be transformational for me, not only in life, but in leadership. It is the importance of understanding and articulating from what to what. This question is about knowing where you came from and where you are going. It implies knowing what is important and what is not, how you are going to get from point A to point B, and what you are going to change and preserve. Most importantly, it is the central question in leading transformational change. As I write this book, supported by the contributions of so many knowledgeable and passionate transformational change experts, I cannot help but be reminded that 2021 was the 50th anniversary of my father's passing. Over the years, I have not spent much time feeling sorry for myself about his loss, although I do sometimes wonder how my life, as well as my family's and his, would be different had he lived much longer. Mostly, I have just tried to be the kind of person my father would have wanted and expected me to be. Have I been successful? I will never really know. But that has not stopped me from trying every day, and it has not prevented me from learning, growing, and changing. After all, transformational change starts with the individual, in this case, me. The secret sauce for leading transformational change is about leading transformational change on an individual, team, and organizational level, and it suggests some societal implications as well. Fundamentally, we wrote the book to answer the following critical questions. 1. What do leaders who drive and sustain successful transformational change actually do? 2. Why do we so often fail to lead and sustain transformational change? 3. Is it true that all transformation is change, but not all change is transformational? 4. From what to what? In my experience, many of us perpetuate a myth about change, that successful transformational change is anticipated, planned for in advance, and well executed ahead of the need. This perspective about leading transformational change seems enlightened, thoughtful, and therefore strategic. But it is largely inaccurate. Most large-scale transformational change comes about as a result of unanticipated, unaddressed, unplanned disruptions, which in turn result in some kind of reaction or response. As heavyweight boxer Mike Tyson said to a reporter in advance of one of his bouts, "Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth." Individuals, teams, organizations, and societies often get punched in the mouth. Then they respond, some more effectively, intelligently, rationally, and urgently than others. Are there many examples of well-conceived change initiatives and actions that were planned ahead of the curve? Of course, and we explore many such scenarios in this book. However, there are even more examples of people and organizations that lack situational awareness. They live in a perpetual state of denial, where key players do not see or want to see the need for transformational change, nor the ramifications of failing to act. We examine many of these situations in the book as well. We address leading transformational change through a variety of lenses and perspectives, with insights from several hundred business leaders, HR leaders, coaches, consultants, academics, thought leaders, and other transformational change experts. We use essays, interviews, survey responses, and a compilation of practical tools to provide the reader with a deep and diverse analysis of top-notch thinking and practices for leading transformational change. Our analysis begs the question, is transformational change typically driven by a specific need, or is it simply inevitable? I have always been fascinated by lyrics from the Bon Jovi song, "The More Things Change." The more things change, the more they stay the same. For purposes of this book, I propose a new way of thinking. The more things stay the same, the more they need to change. Individuals, teams, organizations, and societies seem to prefer stasis. Progress and prosperity often demand transformational change. Therein lurks the conflict and limitless opportunities. The secret sauce for leading transformational change is organized into 3 distinct but integrated parts. The book provides context, insights, and actions that combine to raise important questions and provide essential answers about leading transformational change. Part 1, Context, the introduction and chapters 1 and 2, includes this chapter and summarizes my inspiration and motivations for writing this book. It also includes an outline of how the book is organized, as well as an analysis of the top 7 competing priorities that must be reconciled when effectively leading transformational change. This set of paradoxes previews change challenges expressed in different ways throughout the entire book. Part 2, Insights, chapters 3 through 7, features 3 separate but interconnected sections. The first section, Expert Perspectives, Essays, chapters 3, 4, and 5, presents 25 essays written by business, HR, and transformation leaders, as well as by coaches, consultants, academics, thought leaders, and others with expertise and experience in leading transformational change. These experts share their insights, perspectives, philosophies, and wisdom in a way that showcases a rich tapestry of ideas from which the reader can extract practical advice and creative inspiration. The essays are grouped according to whether their primary focus addresses individual, team, or organizational aspects of transformational change. Each essay concludes with 3 things the contributors want you to know or do about successfully leading transformational change. The concepts and insights in each essay are different, but the pattern of recommendations and cautions is clear and compelling. The second section, Leadership Storytelling, Interviews, Chapter 6, features interviews with 8 CEOs and other senior business leaders who have driven significant transformational change efforts in very unique, complex organizations. The from what to what associated with each story is different. Yet the successes, failures, joys, frustrations, and lessons learned form a remarkably consistent pattern. And, as important as leaders are in leading transformational change, it becomes increasingly clear as our storytellers reveal their circumstances that no one leads successful transformational change alone. As with the essays, all the leadership stories conclude with 3 things you should know or do about transformational change. The third section, Crowdsourcing, Survey, Chapter 7, captures input from several hundred leaders and practitioners in response to one pivotal question: What is the single most important action or step a leader or organization?
Sample complete. Ready to continue?